China is flexing its military might, releasing through state media a flood of dramatic video clips like these. They show Chinese naval exercises that U.S. officials say are aimed to intimidate the people of Taiwan.
Tensions are really rising in the South China Sea, and while it may be an issue on the other side of the world, it is an issue that matters to Canada and Canadians because it matters to a democratic free nation, because it matters to global peace, to global stability. Chinese President Xi Jinping increasing the hostilities towards Taiwan, saying, we are going to go ahead with reunification, it is a priority for us. This is not a warm and inviting phrase, though. It basically suggests that reunification, absorbing Taiwan into China, is something that China is considering doing by force. Now, Xi Jinping has not explicitly threatened force recently, but when Taiwan is adamantly opposed to it, as Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen made very clear, well, she's made it clear repeatedly, but she made it clear once again during recent National Day celebrations, what else do you mean then if you say you're going to go ahead with reunification? But it's not just the rhetoric that is concerning. A lot of international observers, a lot of people in the White House even, very alarmed to see that Chinese warplanes entering Taiwanese airspace recently at really great numbers. The other week, over 50 planes entering their airspace in one day alone. Now, the United States doing a lot to counter that. Recent developments, we learned that actually U.S. Special Forces commanders have been secretly on the ground helping train Taiwanese forces, helping them prepare for if there is an attempted invasion, if there is an attack. Lots of questions about what is actually to be done in this scenario. A lot of observers have said, look, if there's going to be a global conflict these days, well, unfortunately, the South China Sea seems to be the area where those tensions are coming together. I recently read a novel called 2034, which is co-authored by a former head of the American Navy, a former ambassador, talking about how World War III and, well, the year 2034, maybe optimistic to put that so far down the line, how that could come to pass and the different nuts and bolts that would proceed to see such a situation. This really matters to Canada. Taiwan has said, look, we have been excluded from international bodies like the United Nations for far too many years, for decades, and they want countries such as Canada and similar like-minded nations to step up and say, look, we've got to speak out for Taiwan, get their voice more out in the fray, because China has tried to suppress the existence of Taiwan on the international scene. And more people are saying, look, as we see a world growing increasingly tired of China's belligerence, more and more nations talking about how to decouple from China after we have really seen the true face of the authoritarian communist Xi Jinping regime, one of the many ways to do that is to recognize Taiwan further than we have been doing. So we must do things to, yes, counter China's aggression, but another way to do that is to make strategic steps with like-minded countries, allies, and that includes Taiwan. So pay close attention to what's happening in the South China Sea, because it very much matters to the people of Taiwan, but it matters to the world, it matters to Canada as well.